Hello and welcome. You're watching Property Hotline with me, Kavita Krishnan, on Magicbricks Now, India's first property business channel. Now, this is the show where we get answers to all your real estate queries from the country's leading experts. Today, joining me in the studio is a very special guest. Ashutosh Limaye is here. He's the head of research at JLL, and he'll answer all your questions regarding buying, selling, and investing in real estate. Ashutosh, welcome to the show.
Delighted.
Let's get started. We have our first caller on the line. I'm told Samir has called in. Samir?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. Tell us what's your question.
Ma'am, I have taken a flat in Karanjade and the area is around 1,000 square feet. And I purchased this property before 2.5 years back. Now, looking at the scenario in Karanjade, I'm in a question whether to sell this property or to hold it for a long term.
Okay, 2.5 years back you brought it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, should he sell it this early?
I don't really think so. I think he should stay invested for some more time because I think given the demand-supply dynamics, the current rates are still between 4,000 and 4,800 rupees a square foot. Very few projects are commanding more than 5,000. So I think he won't be able to really book that kind of profit if he sells now. Going forward, I think more infrastructure, more amenities will make this area more attractive. So if he waits for some more time, then I think he can book better appreciation. So if there is no financial compulsion, I would advise him to stay invested for some more time and give that investment to ripen and then sell.
So how long do you think he should ideally hold? Because there's a lot that is happening in Panvel right now. Yeah. So 5 years or more?
No, I think that will be, he won't need to wait for that long. I think 2 to 3 years, I think he should get a good sum.
Right, Samir, that's your answer there. Why not take advantage of all the infrastructure that's coming in Panvel? So just stay invested in that property for another 2 to 3 years and then try selling it, right?
Yeah, ma'am. And I have one more question, ma'am.
Yeah, quickly, Samir, tell us.
One flat. Yeah. So, which is better option? So, if I want to purchase a commercial property like shop, so which is better area to invest in Navi Mumbai? Nerul, Ulve or Karanjade?
Nerul, Ulve or Karanjade? What is your pick?
I think if it is for appreciation, it would be Ulve and Karanjade. If it is for immediate renting and start earning the regular income, it should be Nerul. Nerul is an established node, already residential thick area, so immediate demand for shops. Whereas Ulve and Karanjade, both are not as populous or as developed yet. So going forward, they will give better appreciation. But for renting at a good sum, he will have to wait for some time. So it depends whether he wants regular income immediately or it is purely appreciation.
Immediate money, or are you willing to wait patiently for some appreciation over there? That's a choice that you have to make, Samir, right? Thank you very much for calling in. Let's move on. We have a question now that Jatin has sent in through our website www.mbnow.in. He wants to know whether it's prudent to buy a commercial property in L&T Seawoods Grand Central, Navi Mumbai for 14,000 rupees per square foot. He wants to know what are the prospects considering a 5-year time horizon. Interesting that there's such a lot of Navi Mumbai interest today. And, we've also seen a story today where they were talking about Naina being fast-tracked.
I think Navi Mumbai always scored high on the infrastructure front. I think over the years, Navi Mumbai developers are also coming out with good projects. That was something which the city was lacking. And this particular project, L&T Seawoods, I think everything is going right for this project. It's a first large-scale transit-oriented project where it's an integrated development. You have offices, retail, hotel, excellent connectivity not only with the suburban network but all the other transit nodes, be it highways, be it the local feeder roads. I think great location in terms of the developer, L&T, one can't get a better name than that, and I think it's a very well executed project. I think it's a great bet, I think, going forward, especially after when the second airport becomes operational and the branch of the Harbour Railway that goes all the way to JNPT and Uran. I think this location is going to be in great demand. So I think it's a very good project to look at. good project to buy property. So I think he should consider that fairly seriously.
Now, he's also asking about commercial property here, and there are very few people who actually look at investing in commercial property, at least retail investors. What kind of rentals can he really expect, and what tips would you give him? Who should he look to, rent out to ideally?
I think it's a great point, Kavita, you raised. And in commercial properties, office properties, a lot depends on what area is to be let out in terms of the square footage. If one wants to rent it out to big corporates or international companies, multinationals, etc., there is a certain minimum area that they should buy, say 10,000 square feet or upwards. Then they can expect these kinds of occupiers. If the appetite is not that big, one can look at smaller office spaces which can be suitable for professionals, chartered accountants, architects, lawyers, etc. So one has to have that clarity. Also, good developers, including L&T Woods here, segregate the properties well. So here there is a wing where they have smaller units, and they have separate wings where they have larger floor plates and bigger areas. I would advise him to go for the wing where we have smaller units so that it can fit into the budget, though he hasn't specified it. And then he can place it on the rent with professionals. That would be my advice to him.
Right, so go opt for the smaller floor plates and rent it out to professionals. You can expect a good rental yield because it is right in the heart of all the infrastructure development that is happening. Let's move on. We have a caller. Anil Malik has called in. Anil?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, tell us what's your question.
Good evening. My question is, I wanted to just get the expert review on this project called Mahindra Life Spaces at Nagpur. I believe it is on the outskirts of Nagpur and closer to the airport. I just wanted to understand whether it's a good investment zone. I believe there are a lot of corporates that are taking up SEZs over there. So if I could get some clarity. And one more thing, I wanted to know about Godrej Trees, which is in Vikhroli in Mumbai. Again, I went and I saw the place. I found it slightly overpriced, but it's a very strategic location, and hence I want to know whether it's a good ROI from an investment point of view.
Right. Anil, could you help us with your budget and how long do you plan to hold on to these investments?
Well, as far as the Nagpur Mahindra Life Spaces project is concerned, yeah, it's well within my budget for a investment of 30 lakhs.
Okay. Right. Okay. So what would you suggest? He's looking at Godrej Trees, which is something that has been in the news for quite some time now. A lot of buzz around that project.
Absolutely. And I think he's looking at two opportunities simultaneously. He might be wanting to go for both. And let's discuss one by one. The Godrej Trees one, I think phenomenal development. I think the response that this project got from the market tells us all that it's a very well sought after project. Again, very good location, a developer like Godrej, that kind of brand value and the kind of product offering that is placed, phenomenal. There will be always premium attached to brands like Godrej. And as an investor, one can be absolutely sure about the quality of construction, transparency, specifications, well designed layouts, etc. And I think projects like those will always command premium compared to the micro market average. So sometimes it appears that the price is high, but if you invest in that, you will always continue to get that kind of premium at all points in time.
So essentially, they're taking the premium for their brand at the very inception, and they will ensure that you earn from the brand.
Absolutely. I mean, there is definitely value that this project will give to all the investors. His second opportunity that he's looking at is Nagpur and Mahindra, he mentioned. So I think it's the Bloomsdale project which he's referring to. It's in Mihan zone. The corridor is right, the Wardha Road corridor. This project is after the airport, on the way to the Butibori industrial area. So while the location is right, I think Nagpur still has plenty of projects. And I think there isn't that kind of land pressure as you see in big cities like Mumbai. Plus, Mihan is a big project, and it will take some time to really get fully functional. But again, the name is good. Mahindra, again, corporate developer. So for somebody who doesn't belong to Nagpur, it's always better to go with a branded name like Mahindra to be safer. So if he has taken a call of buying in Nagpur, I think Mahindra is a good name.
Now, also, tell me something. We know that, everybody tells us that once GST comes into play, that is when Nagpur will get its, spot in the sun, per se. And Mihan is also where most of the action will be concentrated. So, considering that, it would look like a very long-term play. But do you think in that sense, his choice of location is good?
Yes, I think Mihan as a project and the entire Mihan area as a location, it's definitely going to prosper going forward, be it GST, be it modernization and expansion of the airport, or facilities like Boeing's MRO, etc. So area has got definite potential. Only thing is there will be supply, sufficient supply for next few years. I think if there is a short-term outlook, it may not be as attractive. But if it is a mid to long-term approach, I think well placed.
But it is a mixed-use development, so residential does make sense over there.
Absolutely.
Right. So that's your answer there, Anil. Both are good choices, though one will give you returns faster than the other. For Nagpur, you'll have to probably wait patiently. Right?
Thank you.
Let's move on. Namrata has written in on our website www.mbnow.in. Now Namrata says that she has a house in Vidya Aranyapura, Bangalore. It's a 30 by 50 plot. She has one 3 BHK, one 2 BHK and one 1 BHK built on it. She wants to know what is the current market price, also whether this is a good time to sell it. Will she also see an appreciation if she holds it for the next 2 years?
Very unique question and a unique property as well. So a plot at this location with a kind of, I'm imagining one flat or one unit on each floor of a different configuration. So
she's catering to all segments.
Absolutely, rare combination. So I think she should find good appetite for such a property. It is just off Yelahanka, so it is the north Bangalore corridor. So prospects are good. But again, it's slightly inside the corridor. So immediately, I think there might be some commuting related issues. But overall, I think it should be a good property from a buyer's perspective. That means she as an owner will find fair bit of interest from buyers. Currently, the apartments are selling around 5,000 rupees a square foot, and villas are upwards of 7,500 rupees a square foot. So that's the kind of pricing that she will get. And there will be a section of society that wants a cozy, standalone kind of house, quiet and to
as
be just
opposed to a gated community.
Correct. And those projects aren't that many. So I think she is, with her unique product, can cater to that unique buying segment.
But also tell me this, Yelahanka is also an area where there is a lot of development happening. North Bangalore especially, you're seeing a lot of supply come in over there. There are a lot of marquee developers who are building projects. So in a market where there is such a lot of supply and probably at a lower price, lower ticket than what she is offering, what are her prospects, considering that what she's offering is in a secondary market? Should she then hold for 2 years like she's saying?
Unless there is any financial compulsion, I would advise that she should hold. Not necessarily because the appreciation is going to be phenomenal. I don't think the appreciation is going to be that much. But she actually holds a very unique configuration. And there is a niche market to that. So while there are big brands, gated communities, etc., they are catering to a different kind of clientele, and her clientele is going to be slightly different. And it's very difficult to predict whether many people will approach her now or 2 years down the line, because it's a very niche kind of clientele. So I think she shouldn't be in a hurry. And if she is living there herself, probably she might be a bit choosy also to who to sell to. So I think it's a unique product, so it should sell well.
Namrata, unique product, niche product that you have got over there. So be patient, hold on to it. Like you say, wait for 2 years, take your time looking for the right buyer, because there are buyers in the market who don't really want to get into a gated community. They are probably happier in a standalone property like the one that you have to offer. So wait for the right buyer and the right price and then sell. Right? Let's move on. We have a question that's come in through email from Jairam. Jairam says that he's looking for a 1 BHK in Bhandup. His budget is around 85 lakh rupees. Which are the projects that he should be looking at? And he wants a project that is that should be ready to move it in 3 to 6 months. So he's not taking any risks over there.
Wise call, but there aren't too many projects which are in that stage right now. Just a couple of projects which would be ready for occupation in about 3 months' time. I think budget-wise is okay. I think 85 lakhs to a crore. That's the range where 1 BHK properties are available. But because 1 BHK and 1.5 BHK configuration properties are only limited in number, especially in projects which are nearing completion, because people tend to buy them to avoid the construction risk. So I think there is one project, Jeevan Anand, there is one more which is Sankalp Beauty Landmark. So he can choose from those, but I don't think he will get too many options in primary market. So perhaps he need to do some effort and look for secondary market, because those could be able to offer him more options.
And again, he'll have ready to move in property with secondary market.
Yeah, it's absolutely ready to move in. So that fits the bill as well. So my suggestion is don't stop at only primary market search. I think better options.
Would he get a good price in the secondary market right now? Because people are also looking to sell. There are people who are looking to upgrade. And they are, typically those who are looking to upgrade are looking to sell at a higher price.
Well, it's very difficult to make a generalized statement like that. I think it is a lot more personal, in the sense that in which stage of that buying and selling process one is. I think many a times we have seen the degree of negotiations or flexibility people show is a function of in which stage they are. If a seller is trying to sell for a long time, he may not want to negotiate much. Whereas a seller who has just put his property on block might be negotiating more, because he may have further 6 more months to sell. So I think it especially in secondary market, is very difficult to predict. It all comes down to how much time the seller has.
Right. So look at the secondary market. That's where you'll probably find a lot of supply within the criteria that you've identified for yourself. Let's move on. We have a question coming in on our website, www.mbnow.in. Nishit has written in, and he says that his house is located in Chembur, which is going for redevelopment this January with the Safal Group. Now, he wants to know whether he should keep his house in Chembur and wait for it to get redeveloped, or should he sell it to the builder and move to some other place in Mumbai which has greater appreciation value. Is buying a 3 BHK and upgrade in Chembur a good option, or should he stick to the 2 BHK offered by the builder, since the prices are anyway astronomical and there shouldn't be a problem selling it in future if required?
So I think he himself has done a lot of research. The only thing that he has not mentioned is whether he is currently living in that house or not, or it's a second home. And my assessment for Chembur is something like this, that it's going to retain its premier character. The kind of infrastructure it has seen, especially after opening up of the Eastern Freeway, the kind of appreciation Chembur has seen is phenomenal. Also, monorail first leg is operational, the second leg is going to get operational later this year. So I think Chembur has a great location, connectivity, social infrastructure in place. It's such a well-established residential neighborhood. Unless it is very, very inconvenient for him to travel on a daily basis to his place of work, etc., I think he should not leave Chembur. The second question that he mentioned, whether to upgrade into a 3 BHK, I think he should decide that based on his family needs. We don't know really how big or small the family is.
You know, I get the feeling that Nishit is probably worried whether he will get delivery of that flat, because typically that's a worry that most people in redevelopment projects have.
Yeah.
But what would you advise, not just for Nishit, but for people who have properties which are going to redevelopment? Does it make sense to take the money that a developer is offering you and probably go out and buy something else, or hold on?
I think they should hold on. I think that the current environment around us is perhaps making some of us think this way, that let's not take any risk. Whether the project will get delayed, whether I'll get what I'm supposed to get as a developer's promise, etc. I think few bad cases, they don't really make the market bad as such. So if the society has done the homework well, if they've appointed the right developer who has a reputation to protect, I think redevelopment projects go well. I think most projects in Mumbai today are redevelopment projects, very few which are greenfield projects. So I think he should stay on. I think if Chembur is a great place, and in future, as he himself is saying, selling will not be a problem at all, and he should be able to sell at a premium any point he decides to sell. So I don't think he should move out.
Don't move out. It's a premium location. You are in a place that everybody wants to move to in Mumbai. In fact, the hub of all infrastructure development. So hold on to that property is what Ashutosh says. Let's move on. We have a question coming in from CB Shukla from Bangalore. He writes in through email and he says he's planning to buy a 3 BHK apartment on Kanakpura Road in Bangalore. What are the future prospects for this area? He's a salaried person. He could be transferred after 3 to 4 years. Is it worth investing here? His budget is 70 lakh rupees to 1 crore rupees.
I think Kanakpura Road corridor, which happens to be in South Bangalore market, it's a very well established corridor. You have the best developers doing projects here. You name anybody in the big league, be it Shobha, Purvankara, Mantri, Prestige, everybody is doing great projects here. It's a very good location, and he has got a budget in which he will get luxurious 2 BHK and to an 3 BHK properties as well. The only thing is, because it's located in South Bangalore, traveling to North Bangalore is a problem because of the infrastructure and road conditions. But if he is working in South Bangalore, places like say Electronic City or further down south to Hosur, he should be able to find this place as a great living place. Even if whenever he is transferred and he wants to rent it out, I think Hosur and Electronic City are big employment generating magnets. So he will find people who want to live in South Bangalore. So Kanakpura Road, good corridor. Only thing is he should ensure that he doesn't need to travel to North Bangalore on a daily basis, because it's simply too far and too tiring. Otherwise, on all other fronts, great place.
Great place. And tell me something, especially for this location, what kind of appreciation can he expect? Because we hear a lot about North Bangalore being this, hot location right now because of all the infrastructure development that's happening. Since, like you said, this is in South Bangalore, what kind of appreciation can he expect?
I think Bangalore really doesn't show that kind of variation in terms of appreciation, and that's why we love Bangalore that much, because it's a very rational market. It gives fair chance to everybody, every location. And there is always a reason of a very sustainable kind of appreciation. So next 2 or 3 years, I would place about 15% appreciation to Kanakpura Road.
Okay. So there you have, it's a great location, and you can also look at appreciation. Next query comes in through our website from Shrey Gandhi. Let's look at the question here. Now Shrey writes in and okay, there's some problem over there. Yeah, Shrey is looking for a 3 BHK house in Noida with good metro and road connectivity for residential purpose. Now her budget is around 50 to 55 lakhs. What can she get?
I think the metro currently operates up to Noida city center, and there are 2 branches which are under construction. One branch going to sector 62 and the other branch connecting greater Noida to it. I think the areas surrounding the operational metro network are slightly costlier. So there may not be properties in matching in that budget. But in next 3 years' time, both branches are going to get operational. So the corridor connecting Noida and Greater Noida, where they will have around 10 metro stations covering about 20 kilometers stretch. Good locations, and these are the sectors 70 onwards, and these locations should be good. Also, the neighborhood around sector 62, which is institutional and commercial character, should be good as well. So there the rates would be typically about 3,500 rupees a square foot, so suiting the budget as well. So one has to look for areas of the under construction metro corridor, the 2 branches which are getting constructed, where the budget also matches, and in about 3 years' time, those areas will enjoy the benefits of metro connectivity.
Right. So look to buy in the area where the metro is under construction. It's a good choice of location. You should benefit from appreciation. With that, it's a wrap on today's show of Property Hotline. Thank you very much, Ashutosh, for making time, and we hope to see more of you in this new year.
My pleasure.
We'll be back with another guest tomorrow to answer all your queries related again to buying, selling, or investing in property. You know how to reach out to us. You can write in to us on email, on our website www.mbnow.in. You can also write in on Facebook. You can tweet to me, or you can call in live on the show. So thank you very much for tuning in to Property Hotline today. Keep watching Magic Bricks Now.